Whew. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Austin here at the Semis Austin channel, where you'll be able to look at my CDL progress with Swift Academy, as well as future vlogs behind the wheel of the truck once I'm solo. I'm coming to you today to go over week 5. So this was a very highly anticipated video by me, at least, because week 5 is the week that I'm going to be on the truck, behind the wheel, doing the driving. I finally get to see, you know, how this is going to work out for me, and if I'm, you know, comfortability wise behind the wheel, what's going to happen and all that. And so there was some good, there was some bad, and I'll kind of go into all that as we go through, you know, kind of how everything went down last week. If you guys are interested in getting your guys' CDL or going with the Mega Carriers CDL Training Academy, and you guys are getting content out of what I'm putting out, be sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notified whenever my new videos come out. I try to do my videos once a week, and then I'll throw some shorts here and there whenever I get creative. But going into week 5, so where we're at in the timeline is I've done all my ELD for 2 weeks. I've gotten my permit on week 3, and week 4 I started learning pre-trip. You know, not in that order, but that's just how it goes. Week 5 was pretty much learning backing maneuvers. So there's a couple of backing maneuvers that you're going to be tested on when you do your driving portion of your CDL exam. And like I said in the last video, your instructors are CDL certified, so you don't have to get nervous about going to the DMV, because, you know, you don't have to worry about some dude that you don't know making random marks and scribbles on a clipboard next to you while you're doing your driving. The guys that are doing your exam are your instructors. You probably know them. You probably have a very good relationship with them if you're paying attention in class and doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it should be a very comfortable experience for you. You know, they want you to pass because they need the drivers, and so they're going to make sure that obviously you're prepared. So the way that exam goes is you're going to do your pre-trip first. It's pretty extensive, I can't lie. It's all the way, you know, you got to go all the way around the truck. I get confused sometimes because a lot of the different instructors want the pre-trip done different ways. Some people want it verbatim. Some people want it to pretty much be like, well, as long as I know that you know what it is that you're looking for and what you're checking for, then you're good. So it just kind of depends, because it's kind of hit and miss. Like, I don't want to roll the dice on getting somebody that doesn't care that it's not verbatim and not memorizing it verbatim. I'd rather memorize it verbatim, and if I don't get somebody that needs it verbatim, I'm still gonna pass, because it's still the same thing. God, my nose is so itchy, I'm sorry. But you pass the pre-trip, and now you gotta pass the pre-trip to go to the next section. They're not gonna put you through to the driving skills until you have shown that you can do the pre-trip. I think I heard that it's like you have to get like an 80 or an 85 pass. There's a lot of points on it though. There's a lot. I mean, you can miss, I think, upwards of like 30 things on there. I don't know the exact number, but I'm pretty sure I overheard it was like somewhere like 30 to 35 you can miss and still be good. But don't take my word for it. That's just what I heard. Then you'll go into the skills, and the skills is where I'm at right now. The first one is obviously going to be your straight back. They're going to have a row of cones straight through. You're going to pull your truck. You're going to do a lap around the track. You're not allowed to go over 5 miles an hour. You got to go really slow through the track. You're going to bring the truck through the cones until the rear trailer gets out of the cones. And you're going to put it in reverse, and you're going to run it straight through. And you got to get the whole truck all the way through without hitting any of the cones. That's your straight back test. That's not too bad, you know, but I think people freak out. People freak out when the trailer moves. And that's something that I kind of picked up kind of quick. That, at least that's what my instructor told me, is that my trailer control is really good. So when I see the trailer moving, I know exactly how to fix it, and I fix it quickly. Some people will freak out when they start seeing they see on the left, the look on the right side, and the trailer's gone. They look at the left side, and it's all the way out. You know what I mean? They start freaking out, and they don't know what to do. All you got to do is crank that wheel to the left and bring the trailer around to the right side again until you see it, and then you keep going back. But some people freak out because I think it's like a panic thing. They don't want to hit the cones. They don't want to, like, you know, so they panic. that's not too bad. You know, I thought it was pretty easy. I only did a couple of them before I was like, okay, I get it now. I get the concept. And then it's gonna be your offsets. So I think offset left is what we do for the test, which is what I've been doing. And the offset left is, so you'll do your straight back, and my instructor teaches me based off of how it is on the test. So on the test, you're gonna pull forward through the cones, you're gonna do your straight back. You're gonna go back through the cones, but you're gonna go all the way through, and they have it set up because like when you do your test, it's like the straight back and offset cones, and then the parallel cones are in front of it by like 100, 200 feet. So you gotta pull all the way up to where your nose is pretty much touching the parallel cones, and you have to start your offset. And essentially the offset is like you gotta come out and make a left and then back and then straight back. So you're kind of doing an S into another set of cones directly next to the cones that you're in. A lot of that is like, it's checkpoint based, which is like, the only way I can explain it, the way that my instructor explains it to me, is there's certain points in the offset where you have to stop and look at where you're at, and you have to line shit up. So like the first step, you're gonna crank your wheel 1 1/4 turn, and you're gonna start going to the left. Once your back light, your brake light, is lined up with the cones when you look back, that's when you know you're good. And then you hard left all the way around, and you start cranking it to the right until you get it straight. That sounds right. Yeah. And the checkpoint there is, if you looked in both of your mirrors, you should have a cone on each side. You're gonna come at those cones at an angle. Line those up, start coming back until you feel like you're good. That's gonna be your first get out and look. In the test, you're gonna have 2 opportunities to get out of your truck and look and make sure that you're good. Only 2. And you get 2 pull-ups. So if you mess up and you gotta correct, you can pull forward. You get 2 of those before you start losing points. And that's where I feel like, okay, tangent, little ramble here. I feel like this test is gonna be pretty freaking easy to pass. If you can get out and check twice to make sure you're good, and you can correct twice before you lose points. That's not like before you fail, that's before you lose points. So even if you were to get out a 3rd time and even correct a 3rd time, then you lose 2 points. Like that's, I don't know what it takes to pass, but I feel like it's easier than they put it out to be. Like I said, they want you to pass. So where was I? Right, diagonal back. You're doing a diagonal back, and once the key indicator for me, at least what my instructor told me, is you do your get out and look. You're gonna come around the right side of your truck all the way back, and that cone that you're there on, it's gotta line up like right in between your 5th axle's mud flap and the tire. Like if the mud flap's right here and the outside of the tire's right here, it's gotta line up like right on the edge of the mud flap. If you're there or even just a little off, boom, you're good. Get back in your truck. Now you're gonna crank it all the way to the right. You're gonna counter steer, and you're gonna whip that thing into the lane until you're straight. You know, so you'll see the trailer, when you're looking through your mirrors, you'll see the trailer do this and come around, and once you can see both sides, this is where you're either gonna straight back or you're gonna use your first correction. There's a couple times where I had to correct, and that just means you were off or you just did something too early. It's not that big of a deal. But essentially, once you do the hard right and you start coming around, you should stop again. I messed up. So hard right, you're gonna start coming through the cones, and then you're gonna use your second get out and look. And now you wanna line up the 3rd axle's mud flap and tire to that same cone that you did to the 5th axle. Once that's good, you're gonna already be like 15 feet in the cones. Like part of your trailer's already gonna be in the cones. Now it's just a matter of getting it straight. So now you wanna get back into your truck and you want a hard left until you straighten out. And that's gonna be that motion of the trailer doing this number. And when you see both sides, again, like I said, you're either gonna be a little off and you're gonna have to pull forward and correct, or you're gonna be able to straight back. You don't have to go all the way back like you did in the straight back. You just have to get the nose through the first set of cones. That's it. And you have to be pretty straight. Like your mirrors can't be outside the cones. So it's gotta be pretty even. But again, you have 2 corrections and you have 2 get out and looks. You really shouldn't have to use more get out and looks unless you're not confident. again, I've only done it for a week, but I had issues last week where I only did skills 2 days. 2 days, yes, because we were off 4th of July. I did it Tuesday, Wednesday, or no, I did straight back Tuesday, offset Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, my instructor got COVID. So the problem with that is I am a very lucky student, just by the way things lined up, is that when you go through your class, like, you're in a rotation. So like the guys in front of me, there's 2 guys in front of me, and their instructor, when they do their skills, they have to rotate. So, you know, he does straight back, and then he does his offset, and then they rotate, and then the other guy does his offset and his straight back, and then they rotate. So you're sharing your time. I'm the only person in my class. So when I get on the range with my instructor, it is one-on-one time. The whole time I'm out on the range and I'm in the wheel behind the wheel of that truck, it is just me. I don't have to rotate with anybody. So I get the most practice, the most everything. It's a very good opportunity, and it's just the way things lined up. You know, there was nobody else in my class. It's just the way it worked. And I'm very grateful for that. But, you know, the issue now, so Friday I go in there, and my instructor, he's very cool guy, and he's like, hey man, I got bad news. And I was like, hit me, what's the bad news? I can take it. He was like, there's gonna be somebody else coming into the class. It's somebody from the day shift, they're struggling. They're putting him on me to fix him before he goes out. So he's gonna be with us starting Monday. So essentially, I'm gonna share my time with somebody who is struggling, which is fine, because that gives me an opportunity to look at either what not to do or coach, and that can give me a little bit of. You really get good at understanding how to do something if you can teach it. Like, if you can speak to how to do something, there's a different level of confidence there, in my opinion. So it gives me this opportunity that I'm like, okay, yes, I'm gonna divide my time up, but I do feel very confident with where I'm at right now. The reason why I get so upset that he had COVID, he told me Thursday that on Monday the guy was gonna be here, and we were gonna split time starting Monday, which is today. So we did our offset on Thursday. Friday, at the end of Thursday, going into Friday, when I was leaving, he was like, I'm gonna put you on the road tomorrow, because you're very ahead. You're very good at where you're excelling right now. We need to put you on the road. So I was gonna go start doing road time, which I'm not supposed to do until like later this week. So I was very excited coming into Friday, because I was thinking that I was gonna get like all this extra time and kind of advance a little bit and go into doing road time. And I found out that my instructor was out with COVID, and he will not be back until Wednesday. So Friday, my other instructor, again, I think I've mentioned it before, he's kind of an older guy. He's got a couple health issues and stuff, so he didn't want to go out in the heat. So we just did pre-trip all day. No skills, no road time, nothing. Which I need to work on my pre-trip, so I'm not against it. But then they also cut us early from class. They cut us a little bit early, and that's kind of, we could talk about that at a later time. I'll do like a full review of the academy when I'm out. That way I can like fully express kind of like when it's happened multiple times and I start seeing patterns I don't like, I can start speaking to them. But yeah, Friday was supposed to be a very exciting day for me. I was gonna go on the road. I'm killing it on the skills. I've said, again, my dad's been doing this his whole life. This is like something that my family does. All of my uncles drive. My grandfather drives. They had their own company at one point in time doing belly dumps, all of them. So I feel like this is something that I was born to do. I feel like this is something that's just in my blood. It's just, I would be natural at driving. I don't know if it's a cockiness, because I'm still nervous about it, but I have this like itch that it's something that I'm meant to do. But I didn't get to do it on Friday. And so I'm going into today, and I'm hoping that my instructor that, you know, is here until Kenny comes back is not, you know, under the weather or feeling fatigued today, and will let us go and do skills, or at least put us on the road. Even if I'm not the one getting road time, if those other 2 students, because they're supposed to test next week for their CDL, they're almost done. So if I can at least watch them do road time, I can take mental notes of what to do and what not to do when they make a mistake. When they get a correction, I can notate it and add it to my things to be aware of. You know, so I don't have to be behind the wheel to learn. I just don't want to do pre-trip until Wednesday because this guy is too lazy to go out in the heat. That's where I stand right now. Which, you know, I understand health issues and stuff. I get it. But at the same time, we have to learn. and we're not gonna learn by doing pre-trip for 3 days. You know, we have 2 weeks of driving before we test for the CDL. 4 weeks, I'm sorry. 4 weeks of driving before we test for the CDL. You take half a week away, that could be make or break for somebody. It can. I don't think it will be for me. I'm not gonna let it be for me, because I'm gonna pass regardless. I'm gonna make it happen. But it's, you know, other people might not. You know, that can be make or break for somebody else, and that's unfortunate. But I wanted to make this video to kind of touch base with you guys. I'm going into week 6, more road time this week. I will hopefully, by the end of this week, when I make my video for you guys, it will be, you know, I will have hopefully done the parallel. I don't know when they do. Hopefully I do it this week. I hope they don't wait till like week 7 to do it. But I should have the parallel down, and I should have some type of drive time ready, you know, to talk about. You know, I can talk about all the crazy drivers that were cutting me off, and, you know, all the craziness that comes with road time. But I'm excited, man. I have not been discouraged at all. Even with this other guy coming in and taking up my time, it's not, I can't be upset, because me being by myself and getting that one-on-one time was a blessing. That doesn't happen often. It's just the way it lined up. Now, it's not that I'm at a disadvantage. I'm just getting what everybody else is getting, which is divided time. So I cannot be upset about it. I got to keep my head on, you know, just, you know, stay humble about it, because it's nothing to complain about. It's the same experience that the guys before me and the guys before them were getting, and the guys after me, because they're all groups of 2 and they're all groups of 4, and they're all dividing their time up. I'm the only person that in the last like 2 months that has been by myself. So it's a very rare opportunity, and it got cut short because of somebody else's education needing some help. And my instructor is one of the best, which is why they're sending him to my instructor, which gives me more peace of mind. Like, okay, if they're sending them to you because you're kind of like if anyone's going to fix them, it's going to be you, that gives me more confidence. Because even if I'm splitting the time, I have a very, very well-valued instructor at Swift. Everybody looks to him, and he is the leader of the nighttime sessions. So I still have a bunch of confidence. You know, Friday and doing pre-trip all day was kind of a negative in my opinion. I don't mind it, like I said, but I just feel like I definitely could have used some skills time, and it wasn't like there was no reason why we shouldn't have been out doing skills other than the instructor not wanting to walk. So that's my little tidbit on it. You know, again, I'm not complaining. I'm still very happy with where I'm at with Swift Academy. I learned more too. I talked to a guy who had his dog, and he had come in to see my instructor on Thursday night, and I got to pick his brain about, you know, he does OTR and he's done dedicated, and I talked to him for a while, and he was just like, you know, I've done dedicated, I've done OTR. He kind of talked to me about some of the accounts, like the Target accounts that go to California and the Costco accounts that go to Nevada, and how they work. And when I get more information on that, I will do a separate video about that. But a lot of it is just getting, I just want information. I want to know the way it works. You know, there are routes where I can be home every other day to see my kids. You know, that is a thing. It's not just, you know, the recruiter's blowing smoke up my ass. It is a real thing, and he confirmed it because he did them. So, you know, if I go into Top Gun, you know, and do the, you know, the acceleration for mentorship, then maybe I go and talk to driver qualifications and see if I can do that instead of the route that I signed up for, if they have any availability. If not, 6 months down the road, I switch and, you know, put myself in a better position with more home time. It's possible. It's possible. So all these, you know, all these rumors about people saying, hey, like, you're going to be out on the road all the time, like, that's not necessarily true. And you can make decent money from what I've heard and from what I've seen on paper. So obviously I need to get that hands-on experience. I cannot like 100% confirm it yet, but if somebody else that has been driving with them for over a year has confirmed it, I'm going to take their word for it until I am proven otherwise. And that's the goal right now. You know what I mean? The goal is to get my CDL, go on a dedicated route for a while. You know, I would like to do a year with Swift at least. Potentially 2 if I'm happy. I'm not in a rush to get out. Like I said, my home time is more valuable than my money. So as long as I have a healthy balance where I'm making a decent amount of money, but I'm home a lot, you know, I'm not going to sacrifice my home time to make more money. I won't. That's why I won't do OTR. But we'll see. You know what I mean? I'm hoping to do 1, maybe 2 years and then look at least operator. So we'll see. But again, that was how week 5 went. Now we're going into week 6. Next video should be out Sunday or Monday. So again, if you find this content useful, be sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications when I go live. And if you have any feedback or any questions you want me to answer on my next videos, I will answer them if you put them in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for the support. Love, peace, chicken grease, and I'll see you on the next one.